CAIR is not a reliable source of information, and even they will tell you that if pressed. In 2022, CAIR used a rumor on social media to get on TV 4 times and call for a teacher's termination while she was under police protection.
Now to a family's outrage over what they say happened to their daughter in school. A teacher in New Jersey accused of pulling off the hijab off the head of a 7-year-old Muslim girl. The story gaining attention from an Olympian with ties to the community. ABC's Faith Abube is right here now with more on this story. Faith, good morning.
Good morning to you, Gio. Even the governor of New Jersey is now weighing in, and he says he's deeply disturbed by these accusations and that he supports a full investigation into the matter. The New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations comparing the alleged incident to harassment and assault.
The hijab is much like any other article of clothing for a Muslim woman. To remove that publicly can be very humiliating. Having her being removed from the classroom is the bare minimum.
CAIR-NJ, the Council on American Islamic Relations, a civil rights advocacy group for Muslims, is calling for the teacher's removal.
So the teacher not only put her hands on her, removed her headscarf, and this is, of course, humiliating for any Muslim woman to be exposed in this way in public.
The executive director for the Council on American Islamic Relations calling for the teacher to be fired, adding in a statement, Muslim students already deal with bullying from peers. It's unthinkable that a teacher would add to their distress. Islamophobia in our public schools must be addressed in New Jersey and nationwide. Classrooms are a place for students to feel safe and welcome, not fear practicing their faith. But the accused teacher, Tamar Herman, is denying the incident. In a statement shared by her lawyer, Herman says, "I asked one of my students to raise the hood of her sweatshirt because it was covering her eyes. With her mask on too, her whole face was covered. I gently got her attention by brushing up the front of her hood. The moment I realized she was not wearing her usual hijab underneath, she kept the hood on, and the learning went on. That is what happened."
Anyone that thinks it's okay to do this to a student clearly is not fit to be a teacher.
Well, the Council on American Islamic Relations says more and more Muslim Americans have been reporting personal experiences with discrimination, like the one alleged in this case. The Pew Research Center says in 2007, 40% of Muslim Americans said that they experienced discrimination, and that number went up to 48% in early 2017. And guys, the family's attorney says they have been able to independently corroborate that child's story.
Some troubling numbers there, Faith. Our thanks to you.
She is now suing CAIR for defamation. Suddenly, no TV stations will touch this story. In CAIR's motion to dismiss this defamation lawsuit against them, they claimed they were only engaging in, quote, subjective views, epithets, and rhetorical hyperbole used to express CAIR's deeply held opinions about the incident and Herman, unquote. CAIR's lawyers go on to state that everybody knows that CAIR does not really mean what it says, they're just posturing. Quote, context is key here. CAIR's role as a staunch advocate for Muslim Americans signals to readers that these underlying statements are not an assertion of objective fact, but as expressions of subjective belief and opinion from an advocate's point of view, unquote. Furthermore, several of the statements were posted on Twitter where readers expect a, quote, wide range of casual, emotive, and imprecise speech. While that may be true of social media, it's not true of TV stations. Then, on Monday, October 23rd, Judge Daniel Lindemann denied all of the motions to dismiss the lawsuit, allowing the case against CAIR to go forward. However, this decision was reversed on appeal, the reasoning being that there is no evidence that CAIR was malicious and deliberately spreading false and damaging information about Tamar Herman. CAIR is simply expressing an opinion and are under no obligation to fact-check the statements they make. But TV stations are obligated to fact-check the information they broadcast as news. If Tamar Herman had sued the TV stations that let CAIR target people and things, not just Tamar Herman, but hundreds of others, she might have had a stronger case. There is massive evidence of network affiliates helping CAIR attack people on TV over a period of 7 years.
A teacher in New Jersey accused of pulling off the hijab off the head of a 7-year-old Muslim girl.
Even the governor of New Jersey is now weighing in, and he says he's deeply disturbed by these accusations and that he supports a full investigation into the matter. New Jersey chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations comparing the alleged incident to harassment and assault.
The hijab is much like any other article of clothing for a Muslim woman. To remove that publicly can be very humiliating. Having her being removed from the classroom is the bare minimum.
The Council on American Islamic Relations calling for the teacher to be fired.